Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Harmon. I'll make sure that you can hear me. Yeah, you can. We're going to work on access case number 3 today. As usual, this is a supplement to the class sessions. We'll blow through this, and we're going to do some work with some expressions. We're also going to do some work with, we're going to do an import as well. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here. Let me get this computer arranged where I can see what I'm doing. Okay, and I'll share my screen. All right, now I'm going to move myself over to the small one, and I'm going to go to BISS 1123 to the Moodle room. And we're going to work, first of all, you're going to go and you get some files. You're going to get the Solve It student files, and you'll download, of course, that chapter 5, and you're going to save it as access case 3. I'll pop my desktop here for a minute, let you see that. Have it here somewhere. All right, and we'll be working with the Abraxus case 3, that file. Now, this is, as they talk about, the case starts over there on page 182. They talk about the company and what they do, and they make desks to make office furniture, and we're going to work with a bill of materials and do some analysis with it. Now, you'll see here in the Abraxus file that it's the table. We have a part code, a part name, and then the number of parts per model: Empire, Classic, Moderna, and Craftsman. So it's a little bit incomplete, and it's not everything that we need. So we're going to have to input some more data. Now, page 182 and 183 give us some information about the company and all of the parts that go into making each of these types of desks. And then he had put them into a database. And now here at the top of page 24, they have this partial bill of materials. We're going to complete it using an import. Then I also have, I'll show you, you're going to create a text file from the Abraxus expressions. There are 7 tasks listed on page 184 in the Solve It text that we're going to do this 184 and then over to 185. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to diminish this down, and I'm going to go back over here to the website. And of course, you know, usually to get the Solve It student files, get the database file, save it down to your desktop as access case 3. There are a couple of other files that you want to get, and the first one is called Abraxus import. This is an Excel file, and you want to open it up and download it. You want to open it up and download it to your desktop, okay, and save it down there. There's another file here, and it's called Abraxus expressions. And let me find it. Here it is. I'll click on it for a moment. You'll see this is a web page, basically, or a flat file off of the tab. You will want to click. You're going to get everything. You want to copy all of that, and then paste it into a text file, okay? Because it contains a series of expressions that we're going to use to run some queries. You can see that expressions for query 3, 2B, 2C, etc. Okay? So you'll want to copy those, paste that to a notepad file, and save it on your desktop as Abraxus expressions. So now we're ready to go. and I'm going to diminish this down and go back to my desktop, and I have the access case 3. Okay, I have that file. I have Abraxus import. Okay, and I have Abraxus expressions here. I should have it. And find, here it is, the text file. Now I'm ready to do some work, and I'm going to go ahead and open this, and I've got the database open, and I'm going to close this table, and I'm going to click external data, and I'm going to come over here under external data, and I'm going to get Excel, and then I'm going to do the browse. I'm going to my desktop, and I'm going to find Abraxus import. Now, of course, you know that 6 means this is the 6th time I've downloaded the thing. Okay, so don't get freaked out about that. But you want the Abraxus import. You see there's 7, same file. I'll just get 7 since it's the newest. And I'm going to open it up. And notice I get the import dialog box. It says import the source data into a new table in the current database, which is what I'm going to do. Okay. And I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click Next. And make sure up here at the top it says the first row contains column headings. Make sure that is checked. Okay. Click Next. And it will say, let access add a primary key or choose my own primary key. I'm going to access add a primary key. And this will, and the table, import to the table access case 3. We're going to do that. I'll click now. And now here's the table that we just imported, and I'll show you the difference between them. The original one just had the up here to Moderna. This includes also all of the products they have, and as well as the units in stock. Okay. Which gives you a total units in stock. The units in stock for each of those parts. I'm going to close the shutter off for just a minute. You'll see it, the part code, the part name, the unit cost. Here are all the different models. This is the whole thing, and the units in stock are the number of units that they have, for example, for part C5212. Okay, so we imported that table. We had everything. You said, could I have created a form to input all that data? Of course you could have. You could have taken the table we opened originally and then created a form from it and then added data in. Doesn't matter, but I wanted to show you the process of how we did the importing. All right, I'm going to close this off. Okay, let's open the navigation pane. And I'm going to do this one more time just to show you how to do the import. So I'm going to get this Abraxus case, Abraxus underscore case 3, and I'm going to delete it. Okay, so we're going to do the import. I'm going to repeat that for you. I'm going to click get external data, Excel, and then here's the dialog box, get external data, an Excel spreadsheet, and I'm going to come over here and browse up to my desktop. I'm going to go over and find the Abraxus import file, click open. And now it will say import the source data into a new table in the current database, which is what we're going to do. It'll say show worksheets. Yeah, we're good there. We'll click next. Make sure, as I said earlier, that the first row contains column headings. We'll click next. Now it says let access add a primary key. Let's make sure that that's checked. We're going to let access add the primary key. And then we'll click next. And the import to table, it'll be called Abraxus underscore case underscore 3. And we'll click finish. And as we said before, we'll open it up. And there's our table. I'm going to close the navigation pane, and here we are. So it has all the models, all of the parts, the total number of units in stock. Okay, and I just created that. I'm going to close this off now. Now we're ready to do some work, and we're over on page 184, okay? And they tell us complete the supplied bill of materials by adding fields represent inventory, holdings, units in stock, unit cost of the materials, and by fabricating the appropriate data. So that's one part A. We've done that. This is page 184. One part B, add new part codes, quantities used, etc. For the notes, that's in spacers. Okay. And we didn't put in the spacers and that stuff. I just left those off. So we've done basically one A. Now, they mentioned there in 1B, note that the part codes be given with a letter representing the first letter of the supplier's name, A for Abraxus, C for Chapin Milling, P for Petaluma Tannery, and S for Shepherd Hardware. The letters followed by 4 numbers to complete the part codes. Okay? And you could see that C is for Chapin, A would be Abraxus, the Shepherd, these are the people that supply the stuff. And like I said, I don't have Petaluma, so I didn't add those part codes in. I left off Petaluma Tannery. I've got everybody then, but it doesn't matter. We're good to go. So we've basically done part 1. Okay, and we've also imported a file, and we also copied and pasted some expressions that we're going to be using. These are expressions are how we do some computational work in Access. And again, as I said before, use Access for a database, use Excel for computational work. And so we could do some computational work, but I've got those expressions saved, and all you have to do is copy them and put them into a notepad and save them on your desktop, and you'll be ready to use them. Okay. Now, so we've done task number 1 there on page 184, and we're going to look at task number 2. They said that the managers in a number of functional areas have heard of Dennis's progress and have to release request information on the computerized bill of material. They want to know the total dollar amount of material costs in each product type so they can more easily set appropriate values for these products. Accounting managers want to know the total dollar value of each component, each table or desk. This is number 2 is a word problem. Sing wants an estimate of the investment in dollars, inventory holdings of the component types, and the total dollar value of the inventory holdings. It says, Dennis, certain these needs can be furnished within a single report. Create a report to satisfy these needs, and B, print this report. This is where we're going to use our expressions, okay? And I'm going to diminish this down for a minute, and I'm going to come over here to this text file I created that had all that stuff we copied, and this is called expressions for query 2A. So we're going to do query 2A, all right? And I'm going to go ahead and go back to this, and I'm going to click Create. Okay, we're going to create a query design, and I'm going to get that Abraxus underscore case underscore 3 table. Add it in. As I mentioned before, you can always work from here if you don't have enough room to see all of the code. So if you want to increase this up now, we're going to get This is for 2A. We're going to get the part code. You see I'm double clicking, part name. I could also come here. I'm going to get the unit cost. All right. And I've got the units in stock. Okay. And then they want us to get some information here. So I'm opening the Abraxus expression, and I'm going to take this first. This is imp cost, is unit cost times empire. All right. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come right here. I'm going to paste it in. And then I'm just going to do the data sheet view and see what it looks like. And there's the cost for empire. Okay. We'll go back down to the design view for this. And we're going to go ahead and we'll get the classical cost. We're in that. There we go. So we're just going to do this for each of these. Yes, we are get the Moderna cost. And notice that's Moderna cost. Notice the colon. Then notice that unit cost is in brackets. It's got to be spelled exactly like the name of the field in the table you're using. Pardon me. But unit cost is in brackets. Okay, that field name has to be exact as the field name Moderna, and they both are in brackets. I'm going to copy that and paste it in to the query design area. We're back down query design. We're doing these expressions. And I'll just look at that. Notice I'm just going along as I check each one of them. Get the craftsman cost. I'll run it. Back down to the design. Now I'm going to move along here. I'm going to get the Winston cost. Now I broke that task number 2 down into a series of problems. Getting the sterling cost. Let's just pop this up for a minute and see. We got craftsman, because I don't want to get ahead of myself there. See if I had Winston. No, I didn't have it. So I need to get the Winston cost. I got a little bit ahead of myself. So it's Winston cost. You know, so I'm just checking as I go along, make sure I'm in good shape. I don't have any parameter errors or any problems like that. Parameter errors when I misname a table field, or I don't enter data into a field that is in a format or a particular bit of data required. There's Winston, there's Sterling. We want to get the executive cost. These have got to be copy and pasted in. They got to be right. So I'm having to just copy and paste them in rather than typing them in. Just keep moving that along, get all the, there we go. So far, we'll go back to the design view. This is a little bit tedious, but boy, would it be tedious if we were writing this all in. But notice I'm getting the extension where I'm taking the unit cost times that field. Okay. As you can see, we start to get quite a few expressions here. So now, that's first piece of this. Now we're going to get a component cost per total dollar value of each component type. So I'm going to come down here to 2B. Now let's do this. Make sure with your notepad that it's sized up all the way so you don't miss anything as you do the copy and paste. And we're going to copy everything there in expression for query 2B. So we're still working on this query. We're going to come back over here into the design area. Boom. And let's run this puppy and let's see what it looks like. Up. Apparently I didn't copy something. That's why I got that parameter as I just showed you there. There. Now what you'll probably need to do is that to make sure the executive cost is on there. It would not accept that executive cost with that space there. That's why it gave me the parameter error. So make sure everything is on that line, which I just did here. I showed you this. We'll go back in here now. And there we have the costs for all the components. Okay. Then we'll go back down here and now we're into this expression for those A and B are combined. We got that. And so we're good. We've basically done task 2. So we're going to close the shutter here. Okay. And notice what we got going on. Let's size that out all the way. We've got each part code, part name. We've got the unit cost. We've got the number of units in stock. Okay. And then we have the component cost, okay, for each one of these. All right. And the amount of money we've got there in stock. Now, if we want, we could export this into Excel to do some more work with it because we basically have a table. We could export it. And we're going to save this. Right-click to save it. And we're going to save this as case 3. Case 3, task 2. And so we've got that query that we've completed. Okie doke. Now, they say create a report to satisfy that. And let's come down here and make sure that on the top here on the navigation pane it says all access objects. And then you'll see the tables and you'll see that query that we just created. And so we're going to click create, report wizard, and we're going to everything for that query that we just ran. It's case query, case 3, task 2. We'll get all the fields. And I'm going to sort it by part code, then part name, and on the grouping options, normal intervals, and I'll click next. And notice here it says summary options. Now, if I want to get the sum for the units in stock, the unit costs, we'll do that. I'm going to click sum. Okay. And it says detail and sum only. We'll get the detail and summary. Click OK. And I'll put in ascending order Um, and we'll click next. So it looks like a block or an outline. I think we're going to use a stepped landscape. This one's going to be a mess. As I mentioned, as we saw in class, and as I mentioned before, the report function and access is a booger. And so it can be difficult. So we're going to click finish. And there you'll see we're going to have this whole jumbled mess, which you'd have to work with. So frankly, let me say this. What I would do is I'd take this query, and rather than use this the report function and access and mess around with all this, is I'd take the query and I'd either do a screenshot if I'm going to put it into report, or I'd export it to Excel and then embed it in a report and be done with it. Okay, but this is the case 3, task 2, so we've done that report. Now we're going to look at case. We're down to task 3. This is the bottom of page 184, and they say Harney Corporation, regular and value customers ordered tables for their new Provo office. They require 5 Winston and 38 Sterling tables. They want a detailed material requirement report for the order showing the number of each component required for each of the 2 products ordered and total components required, field, and amount held in inventory, create and report. Print the report. Well, there's a little bit there. As I said, these are all word problems. And so you say you have an expression for 3, and yes, we do. We have a series of expressions. Okay. And so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click create, query design. I'm going to come and get Abraxus underscore case underscore 3, and I'm going to add that in. I'm going to get the part node, code, the part name. Okay. And the unit cost. And these folks are, they're getting Winston and Sterling tables. So we're going to click Winston, then Sterling. Okay. Now we're going to add our expressions. Here they are. Here's the Winston order cost. This is what it will cost, the cost for the Winston order. Okay, and we'll come back and look at it in a minute, so we'll pop that in. I'll just go up and view this to see what it looks like. We'll go back down here for just a moment. Notice the Winston order cost is the unit cost times Winston times 5. Why? Because we're ordering 5 of the Winston products. The Sterling order is the unit cost times Sterling times 38, because we're getting 38 units of Sterling. So we'll go back over here. I'll go down to the design view. Boom. Now I have the Sterling order. We have the Winston order. We have a little bit more work to do here. You're welcome. I created all these expressions for your convenience. And the Winston's material need, we'll get that now because we have the cost. Now we need the materials needed. So go back down to the design view on the query. Boom. And think about this for a minute. If you look up here at part C5212, you're going to see Winston has 2 components for the 2-foot strut. Okay? And if you come over, it says the Winston materials need is 10 because they need 5 units. So you need 10 struts. So far, so good. It makes sense. We'll continue with our expressions. We're going to get the Sterling material need, and that says whatever components there are for Sterling, it's going to be times 38. We'll go into the design viewer and pop that in. And the Sterling material need is 152. Now let's look at that for a minute. We're back to the 2-foot struts, part C5212. As you can see, Sterling needs 4 units of that 2-foot strut. So if we're going to make 138 of those Sterling tables, then we need 38 times 4, which is 152. You're kind of just checking the math to make sure we're in good shape. We didn't mess up on the expression. The Winston stock status, this will be, I want to show you this. I've got it highlighted for you. This is the units in stock minus the Winston material needed, okay? Click, copy that. Come back up here. We'll go down to the design view. And we know the material need. And let's look at this. Now, think about it for a moment. Let's look at part C5212 and see if this makes sense, okay? I need, for the Winston order, I need 10 of the 2-foot struts, okay? And for the Winston material needs, there are 46 items available. And so how do we get that? Let's go back here and look for a moment. We've got the Winston stock status, colon, units in stock minus the Winston material needs. So we have the material needed for Winston is 10, and the units in stock is going to be 56. Now we need to do the Sterling material need, Sterling stock status, excuse me. And if I'm not mistaken, we'll go down here to the design view. Okay. Now notice this, the Sterling, we're going to have to order some more struts. We don't have enough. And we'll see this here in a minute. The stock status, because we need 152, okay? And remember, our expression is the units in stock minus the Sterling material need. So we're 96 down. Then the total need is the units in stock minus the Winston need minus the Sterling need. Okay, we'll go down to the design view. Now you'll say, well, where did you get the units in stock? Where'd you get that one? Well, remember they had that field. So just to make sure we're in good shape, from the original table, I'm going to put the units in stock. And that puts everything into perspective. Let's look at that part, the C52, the 2-foot strut, all right? We have, and we'll scroll this over here so we get the total units in stock. In fact, we'll size this all up. Let's look at this for a minute. We have 56 units of that 2-foot strut in stock. Boy, say that 10 times. We need 10 for the Watson, for the Winston order, so that leaves us 46. And we need 152, okay, for Winston's order. So we're 96 down, okay? So the total need is 106 units, okay? And think about like this, the 106 that we need to order plus the 56 units in stock is 162. And We need 10 of the struts for the to meet the Winston order, 152 to meet the Sterling material need, so we're good to go. And we've done a little bit of work here with these expressions. You have been having some big fun if we have just been writing them, but you're welcome. Now I'm going to save this, and this is going to be case 3. Task 3. So a little bit of heavy lifting there, but once we worked with it, and you say, Dr. Harmon, wouldn't I be smart to go ahead and take this query and export it to Excel if I want to do some more work with it? Of course. Absolutely. If you want to, pretty it up, put it dollar formatting and all that, fine, and then throw it in a report. Or you could just generate a report here, although you saw the nightmare we had earlier and all the work you'd have to do. So we've got case 3, task 3, we've got that done. Now we're going to work on task number 4, okay? I'll open that navigation pane back up. And this, at the bottom, page 184, top 185, they have rumors, they've heard rumors that one of their suppliers, Chapin Milling, is having financial problems. So they're worried about this. So they want to print out a listing of everything that Chapin Milling supplies them, sorted by part code. Okay. Well, we're going to do this. We're going to click Create, Query Design. We're going to come over here and get Abraxus _case _3. We're going to add that table in. Okay. Just remember, if I don't have enough room in terms of the size of my screen, whatever, or magnification, I can always double click and put it down, or I can click on these. I'm going to get the part code, the part name, okay? And let's see, components. And I'm going to sort the part code in ascending order. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get the unit cost, Empire, Classic, Moderna, Craftsman, Winston, Sterling, Executive, Charleston. Okay. And I don't know if I need units in stock or not, because you just want to know everything that's made by Chapin. Okay. So we're just going to stop at that. And then we'll come over here and we're going to scroll back over. And under part code, I'm going to put the criteria under the part code. I'm going to put C asterisk. And you say, now, why did you do that? Well, it's simple. Remember that these parts have a code. If it's made by Abraxus, it starts with an A. If it's made by Chapin Milling, it starts with a C. The C and then an asterisk. So it'll be the C and anything after it. We'll look up here. And there's everything that has a C, and those are all made by Chapin Milling. You say, well, what if I had, 2 vendors that had the first was a C? Well, I could then start to add in an additional letter. Okay, Chapin would be C, and then if I had Cumberland, I could put CU. If I had Castle supplier, I could put CA. It's just from however I want to do the code. In fact, we've really done that. Now, so this is going to be task. We're going to save this as case 3. And I've been doing something I shouldn't have been doing, and I'm not squinching these together like I should, so I'm going to do this. In fact, I'm going to do the same thing on case 3, task 2. I'm going to click rename. I'm just going to get those spaces out between those words. So it's all squunched together like I've been telling you to do, and I lazily didn't do it myself. You know, we just treat these like files. No biggie. Okay. So we've done case 3, tasks 2, 3, and 4, and we can close it off. Done a little bit of heavy lifting. We've looked at some expressions, did an import, and again, no big deal. We've got it done. So we have the case 3, task number 4. Okay, we'll close that off. Now on task number 5, this is the top of page 25. This is engineering wants a list of the components sorted by value. Create a query and print the listing, result listing. Okay. I'm going to do that. So let's click create, query design. We're going to get the table Abraxus underscore case underscore 3. Okay. Part code, the part name, unit cost, Empire, Classic, Moderna, Craftsman, Winston. Sorry. Tell you what I'm going to do. Let's close this off and not save it. I have an idea. Let's open up case 3, task 2, that query. We did all that work, all the value of those components, the component costs, etc. We got everything we need there. All right. Let's do this. Copy that query, case 3, task 4, then click paste it. Where you at, where you put your cursor and you paste it in. And we're going to call this case 3, task 5. You'll see what we're going to do here in a minute. Okay? So we just copy and pasted the query. And we're going to open it up in design view. Now, they want a list of components sorted by value. Okay? So here's what I'm going to do. On the unit cost, I'm going to come right under that. I'm going to put that in descending order. Okay. And then I'm going to go all the way over. And I'm going to get the component cost. I'm going to sort that in descending order. So I'm going to get the unit cost, and that'll be in descending order. See that right there? And then we're going to come all the way over here to this component cost, and we're going to put it in descending order as well. We'll look at it, and got a little bit of a parameter out there. I'm not understanding why. Let me look at this for just a minute. Ran earlier for us. Let's close this off for a minute. Save the changes, yes. Let's go back here to task 2 and open that jewel app. It ran just fine. All right, let's do something. Let's close this off. Come down here to this case 3, task 5 we had just opened up. Let's open it up and see if we get that parameter. Yeah, we're getting the parameter correct. Let's do this. Let's go in to the, let's delete it. That case 3, task 5, because we had copied it already. Okay. Now I want to take case 3, task 2. Let's open it again and make sure everything is right. We have no parameters. Okay. So we'll close it off. Now let's click copy and we'll paste it. And we're going to call this case 3, task 5. Now, we've got case 3, task 5. Let's just see if this opens up without a parameter error, and it does. Okay. May have been something to do in our sort. Let's go down to the design view. And they're the sorted by value. All right, let's do this. Let's go all the way over here. On the component cost, the very last one, and let's put it in descending order, and let's see what happens. We may get an issue with this. Yeah, we are, because it's an expression. I want to cancel that out. It's going to ask us to input those each. So what we're going to do over here is we're going to come to the unit cost. Let's just run this for a second. Now let's come over here to component cost. Close the shutter, and it's up here over here. That's really weird. Okay. Here's what, let's do this. Open up that case 3, task 5 we had pasted and cut. And let's try something here. Let's try to sort it. Largest to smallest. Okay, we got that. And let's go into the view. And it saved that for us. So we went up into the data sheet view area, and we clicked on component cost, and we put it into descending order. I'm close off. Let's say save it. Yes. Okay. Let's open it back up and see if it saved that filtering that we did. And it did. Good. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's a new feature they've added in. Makes this just easier. So we've done case 3, task 5. That was the sound of my desk giving me trouble. On 6, they suggest any improvements or addition to the bill of materials as it currently exists. There are a couple of things we could do. First of all, we could add a supplier field with a combo box. You say, what are you talking about? Well, let's open up this, go back up here for a moment to Abraxus _case. And you'll notice we have the part codes, right? Well, we could create a part code table, lookup table that has the part code and then has the name of the supplier in parentheses. As you know, as we've done those lookups tables, then it would show us what we've got. And so we could have the part code and we could do a lookup table for the part code. All right. We could also do a lookup table for the part name. We could do a lookup table for the unit cost. So all those would be a drop-down menu. We could do that for the whole thing. All right. So there's, that's not, that's not out of the realm of imagination, but certainly with the part codes, we could do that. Another thing we could do is this. We did compute the unit in stock. Okay. And so if we know the units in stock, we could compute an economic order quantity if we wanted to build an expression to do that. Okay. Well, we've done quite a bit here. We've imported an Excel file into Access in order to populate a full table. We copied and pasted and used some expressions to run some queries, fairly complex, on a bill of materials for some office furniture that a company builds. And we did a little work in the query at the top end where we did some filtering. We found, so we put together or identified some improvements for this database, and we're good to go. So we're all finished. I appreciate your time and your energy. Make sure that you save the file. And let me pop myself back up here so you can see my smiling face. There I am. Make sure, please, that you save this file as case 3 access, access case 3, and upload it there in Moodle where you're supposed to upload it for access case 3. Appreciate your time. Again, this is not a substitute for class sessions. It's a supplement. You can replay it, play it as you wish. Have a good one. Take care and bye-bye.